Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona, where we have a brick and mortar store, and happy to help you when you come through Tucson. The staff will be real nice to you. We can't promise the same when you see me in person on the road, but let's get after it here. I want to talk to you about something that is some of my favorite things about coins, and that is the history and just all the things that are out there, why it was made, what it is used for, why do we have money, what is money. You've got this Brodmark. So, BROD, that's bread. Mark is money, basically. And so here you have a token that's good for bread. And we've had stuff like this. So this one is, here we go. We've had stuff the U.S. produced during the Great Depression. There's Depression era script. And so things that were put out, there was, you had ration books and things like that. So this is Vina, what do we got here? Volks Squishy. Yeah, there you go. So the people, what do we got going on here? Anyway, I'm not going to translate here, but what I'm going to say is it's really cool to see this bread tokens from circa 1880s from Austria. And so undoubtedly you could turn this in for some bread. And that is something the U.S. also had at different variations in time from different locales. And we're going to get to a few of my favorite pieces of history here where you had things that were put out for different reasons at different times and to different effects, right? So there's different reasons why you're running into an emergency issue and you need to issue emergency currency and or tokens and or metals and or script that you would use, that would circulate, that served a purpose. And for those of you who collect Germany and that area into Europe, there were lots of different issues in both the in the World War I and post World War I era, where you get into things called Notgeld. Usually, you think of that as paper currency script, but there were tokens and metals. The French also put out different things. This is a one pfennig here from Westphalia, 1918 MS65, struck out of iron. So a really cool piece for an iron piece because it's very lustrous and it has that nice white look to it. And sometimes they just end up with nothing but a steely look. 1918 with the one. And oh, Westphalia, that's not how the song goes. Stadt Ham Westfalen. But a real pretty piece on that. This one would be good for me to understand kind of what I was going to price these at. I think that one was about 175 on that guy. There's a little note there. I have another Notgeld to show you, and then I have like two of my absolute all-time favorite pieces of numismatic history. First of all, this guy here, 1923, also Westphalia. This is a little bit different in size. This is, so you got to look at something that is, you're looking at 5 years later, and you have some script that's harder to read on this guy, because it's not in your typical English for me here. 10,000 marks, 1923 with the horse on it. And this one actually does say Notgeld de Provinz Westfalen. So I said it's harder to read because that's supposed to be an A and that's an N and they look the same. You see that? I thought I was joking. 1923, and this is kind of fun. This is in like this big old oversized double thick, almost double thick PCGS holder here on that guy. And just a beautiful design look to it. It is gilt, which means that it is like a type of gold plating. And you can see they were all plated a little differently. This one has some of the plating coming off the front. MS62, 10,000 marks. 10,000 marks. So you went from one pfennig to 10,000 marks. This piece here, I think we're going to have priced at a little bit north of $100. But just a really cool piece, very, very large. You're looking at a piece that, if you want to compare it to like this Peruvian piece, you can see the diameter. It's taken up the entire case, but also it's a lot thicker. So really, really a cool piece of history. Then we get down to some stuff that's like radically different use. You had economic problems, and then you've got a problem where you're under siege. Kandahar siege coins, 1680 to 1700s, one Fallis. So this has a Pisces on it, but also these were actually made out of like pots and pans that were melted down, cut into long strips, folded over, and then hammered out. And super, super cool. And you can see the line here where the metal folded over on top of the metal. And you can see all the folded places. Looks like a real nice croissant. So, but my favorite, one of my all-time favorite pieces of numismatic history are these guys here. And these are actually known as Ireland gun money. And there's things about these that are epically cool. This one's a half crown. These are made from guns and cannons that were melted down. Also during a siege time, here we go. Jacob II, the king. They have this really interesting brassish look to them. They look totally different than a lot of other currencies. You know, they were not, the alloy is just something that's very different than the coin alloys would have been. So it's a different type of metal than what you're used to. And one of the things that's so amazing about the history on these guys, this is one of the few coins ever, if not the only coins ever, that have the year and the month. So May of 1690. Also, little note that they were on, what is it called, the Julian calendar? The new year started like on March 25th. So you could actually have a March 25th. You could have two Marches, one dated 1689 and one dated 1690. And the one dated 1690 would be on the 26th of March or later. So just such a cool piece of history. These guys, this is a couple $100 on a coin like this. And just absolutely one of my favorites. There's different denominations on these guys, so you can find them in smaller sizes, larger sizes. But how cool would it be if you could collect, Morgan dollars by year, mint mark, and month, huh? Because you don't have enough varieties to collect already. Well, I hope that you learned something today. Tell me if you collect this stuff. Add to what I said here for those of you who are the historians out there. Just what a cool piece of history this is. Enjoy collecting, guys. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.